Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. I am, against my better judgment, I am going to tackle some of my fabric scraps. Some of these things you may have seen me use in the past, some you may have seen in haul videos, some you may never have seen before, but I am frankly at the end of my rope. I have a lot of fabric. And of course, I had a lot of fabric, not as much, mind you. I had a lot of fabric before the whole world of journal making fell my way. And of course, every inch of it that I have bought since then, or repurposed clothing to turn into fabric, has only added to the issue. When I first began organizing my fabric, I did it in cute little, I don't even, do I have anything? Cute and little? Okay, I would have done it like this, sort of the Marie Kondo style, which means that if your drawer or basket or whatever it is you're storing in is deep enough, you could stack you could stack them like so, and it would be kind of like flipping through files or something. And that works to some degree. I have fabric in so many places, I can't even begin to tell you. I have an antique cupboard of some sort. The drawers are different depths, so I have, maybe one drawer would only allow a little packet like this to stand upright. I've also repurposed, I think, was it a 9-drawer dresser? I have those hanging, those soft-sided hanging things that you hook over the bar in a closet. And usually they're intended for sweaters or something like that. I've got fabric on those. I have a wide one, and I have one that is like a shoe size. So I have bins. Anyway, enough confession time. So I've also come to the conclusion that until I stop buying stuff or begin using things at a far quicker pace, I can't seem to get my floor clean for any length of time. Now I do, because of course all of us did that. We all bought those rolling carts. We know that they're not all created equal. We know that they're not all the same size. Whatever. I have decided that I am going to try to put as much as I can of the things I want to focus on carts, simply because they are wheeled. So I have some, I would say, very good storage. And one day when I do a tour, you'll see it. But drawers are only accessible if you haven't piled a whole bunch of junk in front of it. So at least my theory, and we'll see if this pans out, my theory is that at least if the stuff is on carts with casters, then obviously roll the cart out of the way and not have to contend with piles on the floor. So that is the goal here today. So just to prove to myself, as if I needed an eye-opener, the extent of the issue, I've rounded up a few of my piles that have been either tucked away in boxes or baskets or out in the open, in an effort to try to find a system that's going to work. So we know we know that scraps come in all sizes. At one point, and who knows when I did this, this is a canister type thing. And I guess I thought, oh, if I had a small scrap of ribbon or lace, and if I had this in a clear container, and if I had it near me, I would automatically reach for it. Well, no, because number one, I didn't have it near me. This was actually in the bedroom, and I thought, oh, a person could slow stitch or hand stitch little clusters together, while watching TV or something. Well, and there isn't a great deal of fabric in here, but this is just one example of a hodgepodge, a dog's breakfast of systems, catch-alls, that don't work. Oh dear. Aren't you supposed to feel a sense of relief when you confess something? Anyway, okay. Many of you will probably know what I'm talking about, so let's just plow ahead. So what I have done is I have an empty cart beside me. You're not going to see that. I have a variety of containers, because I could be the container lady. So a basket. Now, this one isn't going to snag anything, but this may not be the best choice typically for fabric. A couple different styles of these plastic baskets. Actually, if I found the other two of these, they have covers that automatically limit how they can't overflow, as well as the covers make them stackable. So that could be an option. But first of all, I guess I want to see what's what and make some decisions. Now, because they're fabrics of all sizes, I think my first round is going to be simply to, wonder which is the right side here. Obviously anything this big is probably from a previous life that I intended to do a home decor type project with. So big pieces will get their own pile, because I do have like a storage type thing in the basement that I used to store fabric in before I went cuckoo. So I would say bigger pieces, say a yard or more, will probably end up having to go down there. Now, I don't know what this is. It's cute as can be. Looks like it was part of a quilt thing, or maybe it was supposed to be an apron, because it has this pocket on it. So, and of course they use like about 48 stitches to the inch. I don't know. I guess if I find other things like this, I will make a pile for them, because they either there needs to be some stitch picking done probably. But isn't that cute? And of course, we cannot take the time to admire everything. Now, who in her right mind keeps this? Me. I'm not so sure about the right mind part. Let's just say that I will make a pile for these little guys whose size is perfect for clusters and snippets. Now, okay, so we'll make a little pile right there. Not so long ago, just in the last few days, well, I don't know when you're going to see this, but in the last few days, there was the video I did on making those fabric envelopes, which a lot of you seem to like. You're welcome. Makes me want to make a pile of fabrics that I would do that with. I love this. There's more of it here. Now this will go in the little itty bitty pile. This looks like I salvaged these border pieces So this still needs some work. I'll put it with that butterfly thing. Oh, this was a garment that I was taking apart. So, aren't those pretty colors? Okay, yoy. See, this is why it gets like this. These are oddball shapes. It must have been an A-line thing. So maybe what I'll do is try to make them all sort of fit together and then fold them in the Marie Kondo way. It isn't easy when things are in irregular shape, let me point out. I would be very interested to know, looks like there are 4 of these. I would be very interested to know from you in the comments if this affliction has, if you've been like felled by this affliction as well. So I'm just at this point trying my best to sort of make this into a rectangle. When I have a more manageable size that will fit on screen, I'll actually show you how I fold the Marie Kondo way. But you can see that automatically this makes it better than what I had before. So maybe I'll make a little stack of these guys here. Okay, so something like this. Not big enough for an envelope, too big for a cluster. Could be a fabric flip. So, okay, maybe we'll have teensy weensy, odd shapes, whatever, and a little bit bigger. So here, like, okay, so you can see that this automatically could be the start of, oh, and maybe that's why I had this all together. Oh, and you know, but don't tell her, I am working on a journal for Jonna, and apparently blue is her favorite color. So why don't I just delay decision making? Have we ever tried that? Delay decision making and put all this in with the blue stuff, with the stuff I've set aside for that journal. Okay, wasn't that easy? If I've torn something off like this, either to straighten the fabric, because you can see it goes from narrow to wider. These things, and you know, this isn't the longest piece in the world, but these strips I tend to store by the sewing machine because, you know, that's the place that the action is going to happen. So I will just start a pile all off out of view for strips. Okay, so this is good. This is, so see, this would be, now this is not a square, but it's pretty darn close. A person could, these are potential envelope size. Let me just tell you. 8 by 6.5. So naturally it would have to come down to 6.5. It would have to be a square. So 6.5 by 6.5. However, you know what would happen then? Of course, it would create new scraps. Let's just, okay, over here, I'll make a pile for envelopes. Sometimes, now maybe I was squaring something. Okay, well, this is still too big. This is clearly a remnant or a scrap that I got somewhere. If there's something like this, I tend to tuck it inside so that it's all together. That may not be the best idea because maybe a piece of yellow gingham is just the thing that would rock my world right now, but I don't know that I have it. So Whoops, I guess we'll be dealing with a lot of threads too. Now, because I'm making these piles, that's just because of the video. And obviously I will, when it comes to the filing, I keep them by colorways. So in that dresser that I mentioned, you know, there will be a drawer of blue and there will be a drawer of, you know, every other color. Now this is very silky. I'd say that's a snippet sized thing. I don't know what this should be. I think it would be kind of miserable to make it into a, that's the envelope pile. I think it would be kind of awful to try to make that into an envelope because it's so slippery. This came off a sheet. Okay, I have an idea for that. This is a bigger piece, so this will go with that first fabric. Where did I, oh, I threw that on the cart. Now this, I think I salvaged from a dress, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a hem on it. But why do I have it in two chunks? And I realize that this is probably about as exciting as watching paint dry. So I'm just sort of putting like shapes with like shapes. I'm going to fold this down so it fits within this bundle. And, you know, it's going to make it kind of lumpy and whatever, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. And then to make it uniform with other things, I would fold it. So, you know, there can be quite a difference in how thick these things are. Oh, this looks, I think this was part of a scarf or something. Are these not electric colors? And look at the fringe. If I didn't already have a million journal covers, I think I'm going to wad this up, throw it over here to the side, and that will be the start of a bundle to use in mixed media and art journaling. Because honestly, those colors are kind of strange. You know, I could save this, but honestly, why? This is too uneven to be a ruffle, so it'll go with the mini snippet things. Now, of course, all these threads that I'm pulling off, I could save those too, but again, oh, I gave Carol some of this. It is like, almost like a denim-y thing. This was a, oh, here's a, I'm going to put this with the snippet stuff, or the cluster stuff. Because, of course, labels. So you can see that this was like an A-line or something like that, where the pieces didn't lend themselves well to, oh, look, found that. So we'll throw that on there, that pile. Now, these are cute. I would say snippet, even though it's big. By the time a person, you know, cuts off whatever, there won't be that much left. If this were longer, what I might do, oh, there's a, okay, what I think I would do, yoy. I'm going to put this with the cluster thing, and obviously pretty soon we're going to need a cluster making video. Okay, these are the little bits that come off gathered ribbon. I'm adding that to the cluster pile. This is more of the same. This, I think I have a spot for these sorts of cheesecloth kind of things. So we'll throw that off to the side there. Oh, here's another little, I don't know what these things are called, but we'll add it to the cluster thing. Here's another. Oh, I love this fabric so much. So we'll add that to that. Anyway, when I was handling that little brown, see, this might work in Carol's. And here's a tie. Whoops, I have a cup of hot water here in case my voice goes. I think I'm going to put these things with Carol's journal makings for now, because of course she loves pink. And I haven't done any, oh, here's more of this again. I haven't done any of the, I don't think I've done any tabs or ruffles or anything like that. So, anyway, what I started to say is these kinds of strips, particularly if they're shabby and kind of long, make a good tie around a little miniature journal or something. So for now, I'm going to hang on to strips because there may be a job for them. Here's a piece of, well, we'll call this snippet material. So this was, clearly I tore off whatever was on here. This has the, the stitching, the whatever that kind, is that interlocking stitching of some kind. So this would lend itself well to dyeing. I don't know, maybe you saw the video that Caroline's Craft Tree and I did on dyeing. So this would lend itself well to that because it's white and it might be a natural fiber, or at least part of it is a natural fiber. So maybe I will do a white pile as well for that purpose. Okay, how about a bride and groom? I would say, well, mind you, I was going to say the guy's been beheaded, but no, his head is not, their heads are not there at all. So when a piece is long, this isn't that long, but anyway, 21 inches. Sometimes I put these aside, rip them into strips, and make ruffles. And the fact that, pretend this was like so. If you, I don't know how exciting a ruffle that would be, to be honest. Maybe this one lends itself better to, why don't I just do that instead of talking about it? Make a little snipperuno here. This could be, did I have a pile for fabric flips? See how good my memory is? We'll call those focal points. I'll only do the ones where the couples are intact. So we get 2 couples. And I guess the other thing I could do, which, what a concept, is make up a scrap bag to donate. Let somebody pass my problem along to somebody else. So I'm going to keep that there because that tucks, I mean, this, let's say this will be the start of a donation scrap bag. This is the seam allowance from that sheer thing that I folded up. I'm throwing this away. So there. More of the same. If by some chance Kim is watching this, she will be horrified that I'm throwing this away. But honestly, I'm not going to live long enough to get to all this stuff. This would make a nice ruffle, but it has that seam. So my time has to be worth more than that, throwing it away. Oh, look at this lovely purple stuff. I guess that's kind of, excuse me, a seam allowance from some purple lacy thing that I deconstructed. So this is great cluster stuff. Cluster stuff. These would make good ties for Carol's thing. Oh, another one of these. That's cluster stuff. This is a hem from, I believe this was a tablecloth, if I'm not mistaken. So because it is essentially, it's like a, almost like an apron tie or something, I will add this to where I keep, can't get rid of these threads. I'll add this to where I keep my different things for tying journals. This, okay, what's going on here? So it's got a hem. It's a pretty little fabric. Okay, I'm going to put this with the stuff that needs to be, that needs some extra effort. So some more stitch picking. This would be cute. Now, another thing I could do to save some effort, that's already torn there. Why don't I just tear this? I hope it's reasonably even. And add this, oh, it's pretty jagged. Let's see if I can tear it again and get rid of most of the raggedy, jaggedy parts. Oops. That's what happens when you... I was surprised at the number of people who hadn't heard of. See, the danger of snipping it at this end is that those two things won't match up, but let's try. Maybe out of all of this, I'll just end up throwing it away. Ugh, see, that didn't exactly... Oh, maybe this would really be a shabby one. The number of you that were surprised, had never heard of the thing we were taught in home ec, or I was taught in home ec, about how to find the straight of grain in fabric. So anyway, we'll throw this with the snippet thing, and these bits I'll throw away. This, I guess I'll still take down that hem, and I'll end up with another couple of snippety type things. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be snippets. It could also be tabs, you know, journal tabs and toppers and stuff like that. This is like a fleecy thing. I'm going to put this with focal points because it seems to me that I need to either turn this into a pocket, turn these things under, you know, get rid of the parts that are partial, and, you know, like if the only intact part here are these Tweedies, or mostly intact, get rid of the rest of it. That's nothing there. Okay, this is a fairly big chunk of this strawberry fabric, so I'll put it with that, on that pile there. Now this, that looks pretty square, so I'm adding this to the envelope making pile. How about this? That's nearly a square too, so we'll have a few of those to do. I love, love, love this. Seems to me, I don't know if you can tell, the iridescence. I don't know which was intended to be the right side, but we made, or did we get my daughter's grad dress made out of this? Anyway, sentimental, baby. Throw this out, that's more of the same. I think I was using this in my, oh, you know what? This should go with the Bohemian covers that I did a while back. Now this was something in, this is a pot holder, I guess, or a trivet or something in the shape of a mouse. I love this fabric. I hate this green stuff. I'll pick the stitches on that. This, believe it or not, is a way to, microwave a potato or corn. So it is, oh, how come there are yo-yos in there? Was I trying to match yo-yos to something here? So obviously this could very easily be a bag to put a journal in. So I will put this, I'll make a new pile for that. And those yo-yos go over there. Okay, remember when COVID first came around and how everyone and his brother, including me, was making masks because, of course, the supply couldn't keep up with demand. And if you think it's easy to make a mask that fits, well, you're kidding yourself. Anyway, so these were obviously mask parts that I thrifted somewhere. So I'm just going to put all these little pieces on the snippet pile. I love, 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 love this so much. Seems to me I tried selling some of this fabric. Doesn't this just make your heart happy? I tried selling some of this fabric as fat quarters, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think I sold a single piece, so what gives, people? And part of it also had bigger circles. So I'll put this with the bigger pieces over here. Okay, maybe with this one I should demonstrate the Marie Kondo folding. So this will work. Oh, no, this piece is too big. I'll show you when I get a smaller piece. Whoops. Here is more of that blue paisley. And in case you don't know, I love paisley in virtually any color. Here's another one of those seams. That's going in the garbage. I will put this with the blue stuff because, again, that could end up with Jonna's journal. These things I'm throwing away. Here's more of this orange silky stuff. That's not going to be easy to work with. This feels like lining or something. Okay, so let's do the Marie Kondo thing for those of you who may not know it. Oh, here's more of that. Okay, so whatever size the piece is, hopefully it's somewhat rectangular in shape. So typically you want to make your edges as smooth as possible. So in this case, I would fold this in thirds. Then, obviously the little bundles will be different sizes depending on what size you started with. So you could decide, if you were folding up a bunch of your fabrics, you would think to yourself, okay, I have a size. Okay, well, you have a couple of options. So you could fold this over and end up with that, assuming that you have other little bundles this size. Or you could fold it into thirds and you end up with a bundle this size. So it kind of depends on, you know, how hard you're working to make your bundles a uniform size. I'm going to put this away because probably there are more pieces. Okay, I need to speed up here. Here is this beautiful fabric. This is bigger. Oh, 2 pieces as well. So I'll just tuck this one inside here for now. And put it with the bigger ones, bigger chunks. Here's another paisley. Gotta love it. Now I could have probably made this smaller, but kind of lends it. See, the other thing I could do here, if I wanted, because it's not that big a piece really, it's maybe like a fat quarter size. So what I would do is fold it in half to make the original piece smaller, then fold it in thirds. And again, you know, you kind of have to use a bit of judgment and common sense. If this was a really thick fabric, that wouldn't be that smart an idea, because it wouldn't really want to hold its fold. But you can see that by doing this, you make neat little bundles, and basically you're eliminating all those ragged edges. So again, as I said, depending how you're storing them, it could go this way or it could go this way. This is like an ultra suede. I don't know where this came from, to be honest, but I kind of like that color. So maybe I'll put this with cluster material. This obviously I salvaged from something. One thing I haven't really done is start a pile for these sorts of things. So let's consider this a new pile. This Band-Aid of mine keeps catching on things. It's not that I have a mortal wound or anything. It's just that I'm so overdue getting to my manicure person that I ended up having to remove one of the things yesterday. And it was an owie. Okay, this is a sleeve, a gathered sleeve, and this is a crepey type material. I do have a small area that in one drawer that has pretty well black and white, so I'll add this to that. I love this fabric with these girls on it. Seems to me I was selling rolls of this too at a live sale once, just because who wouldn't love a row of ladies? So I'm going to put this with my strips for turning into ruffles. Here's another one. This I would say I should put with my fancies because it's got that machine embroidery on top. So we'll just set that aside for now. Here's another one ready to go for a ruffle. Now I guess it might be good to keep the branding strip on there, so we'll leave that. Not sure where this fabric came from, but I'll take those little guys out of there. These two are obviously not the same length, but I can still make a reasonably neat little bundle out of that. I think this is 5 by 5. Yeah. I don't know what these things are called, these 5 by 5s. Oh, looks like I stapled this together in the hopes of starting a cluster. Oh, I took this patch pocket off a top of mine. Look, it's even got the button ready to go. So we'll put this with fabric flips, I think. Fabric flips, fabric flips. This might be nice in an art journal thing. Maybe let's take these florals out of there and put them with the art journal stuff. Okay, where's the pile for the art journal? Oh, I see it. Oh, somebody did fancy stitching on there. Not very well, I might say. So let's just Marie Kondoize this. Now, well, you can't see all the piles, I'm sure, but it is looking a heck of a lot better and takes up less volume than what you initially saw. Like, I think I'm going to refold this one. So I'll fold it in half. Whoops. Oh, there's a piece inside. Fold it in half first, then into thirds. And again, if you tuck your raw edge in, then you've got a nicer edge here. Let's do kind of meet in the middle. And that way we get quarters. And you can, this is sort of what we have so far in the smaller pieces. You can imagine that if, you know, say the pinkier tones were, whatever color was together, it looks so beautiful. You can just sit and admire, sit and admire your little bundles all day long. Not so fond of this. I wonder, I could try making 2 envelopes. That would give me 2 squares, so we'll put it with the envelope stuff. I'm just gonna snip this. Yeah, let's just tear it. Oh! And it goes to the sewing pile. Oh dear. And you can see why, you know, we as thrifters, we go to a thrift store, we find a bag of fabric, odds and ends, and are so happy, so happy. And then we take it home and we don't know what to do with it because it is labor intensive. I'm cutting these into more manageable pieces to become fabric flips. Okay, and this, how many times in my life have I handled this? I really seem to have an aversion to stripes for some reason. So those will be fabric flips. Oh, look at, whoops. Oh, these are all squares. Are these 5x5s? I don't know, when I did that video about making those fabric envelopes, I don't know if I ever worked that small. Oh, that would be so cute. So. And that genius, Hope, said, well, why don't you sew around the fabric first and then fold it, and then you would have no fraying even on these parts. Look at that. I'm turning all of these into envelopes. Quite a stack of them there. Okay. Not my favorite. Oh, and here's even a smaller size. Fabric flips. don't really care for this print. So let's turn them into fabric flips. You know, sometimes if it's not your favorite, you can, you know, put it lower down in the pile and see less of it, or make other choices that, you know, maybe help you like it a little more. Oops. And, you know, sometimes I care and sometimes I don't if things are kind of trapezoid shaped. So I better check and see. Well, we're almost at the end of this. This is the last piece, and this stuff that I dumped on the, oh, you know, this was a dress, I think. That's an elastic. What happens? This may not be on the straight grain. It might not rip, but let's see. Oh, it's not going to rip evenly. You have to wonder, mind you, I know why companies do it, to make the most out of their fabric, because, you know, it's fast fashion. Nobody wears anything for any length of time. So see how crooked? Well, let's make it narrower and get at least one decent sized strip out of this and throw the rest away. Oh, that's a seam. Anyway, obviously, if companies, these sweat factories, sweat labor factories, child labor factories had to, I don't know about this, had to cut fabric on the straight grain, and with plaids matching and stripes matching, they'd need a lot more fabric, which adds to the cost and cuts into profit margins. So I'm just getting some of these into more usable pieces. That I think I'll throw away. Sometimes I like to use long pieces as well, so we'll call that good. Again, you can see that it wants to tear this way, so if I try, you know, so let's maybe just, well, let's do it like this. We could have a finished edge. I could get rid of this. These scissors, they're good. They're Henkel's. They're marked with a ribbon. They've never cut paper, and yet they're kind of a disappointment. Sometimes it's like chewing. I shouldn't be wasting your time doing this. Okay, what do we have left here? Oh, that's a V-neck. Thank you very much. So I'm going to just tuck these smaller pieces. You know, here's the bodice. Oh no, the back. Tuck these pieces into each other. This is not going to fold very well at all, but this looks better than it did before. Okay. I'll show you something else. I have this. Is it not beautiful? Would it not make great little journal covers? Over and over and over again. So I'm going to keep this out to use in an upcoming video. And along the same vein is this. Look at these book titles. Now, again, you can see that this piece is not very straight at all. But is that not beautiful? So I think what I'll do, since I'm saying it out loud to you guys, and here's another one. Look at how beautiful these are. Mind you, these could also be pockets. Oh, beautiful. Well, they could all be pockets. Okay, I'm putting these 3 pieces aside and promising you that I will do a video showing some of the options with these. How long have we been here? Holy cow, 50 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop there because obviously this is a far bigger job than... Now, I know that Kim gave me some of these, so that's another option, putting some strips on bobbins. You know, like this, I just wrapped around a card. This is simply rolled together. This is like a canvasy type thing. This has some machine embroidery all around it. Delicate pink on kind of a sheer little fabric. That would be cute to add to a this. Who knows what this is? Somebody was learning to knit. Again, a catch-all waiting for me to do something with it. Maybe I'll put these stars with Jonna's stuff. This should probably be with the things ready to dye. And this was fabric that Kim had given me that I just tore into strips and put on these little bobbin type things. So I should actually put these with my ribbons. Some of them could obviously go to the sewing machine too and turn into ruffles. But I need to deal with this, empty this box, and call that a day. I think I showed you this not so long ago in a flip, in a haul video. So these, I don't think this would tear, but let's try. Because it has these little flocked bits. Oh, it does. Okay, so I'll put some of that with the snippets. And sometimes I do that just to make my pieces something that's easier to fold. So maybe let's, and this will be the last thing I show you, or the last thing I do on camera. So we know that this is a top. And these are the, like the shoulder seams would have been up here. So I'm going to fold this in half. And again, you know, if things don't exactly lie the way they should, it's because someone has taken a shortcut on construction. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just attempt to cut this somewhat straight. I'm sorry if you can't see every little thing. Now there is a line in this design that I suppose if I really wanted to, I could try to follow it, but too late now. So, and then I'll cut this little wispy thing off here. I'll just throw that out. And maybe I'll cut these. Oh, really a difference. Okay, I'll just lay these two down here on the fabric flip pile and fold the rest of this up, because this was just sitting kind of in a heap on the edge of my desk. Well, what kind of a system is that? Again, these two are not very even. Luckily, it's pretty sheer, so it's not going to be terribly bulky. So, hopefully, number one, by watching this confessional, you maybe feel better about your own stuff. Maybe you've picked up a few ideas. Maybe you love the folding system. It definitely looks better than it did before we started. However, I have a long, long, long way to go. So, whoops, this wants to fall apart. Let me put it under something heavier. Okay, envelope pieces, small stuff to file with its in its proper colorway, more bigger pieces to file with their colorway. This is, I'll just put this with the black and white stuff. Fabric flip pieces, snippet pile pieces, and honestly, you know, I'm half tempted to just chuck it all out, but that wouldn't be. Oh, and a few, oopsie, snippets to, or ruffles to make. And, well, you saw me divert some things to journal projects. Some things that need to have their stitches picked. So, again, good luck if you're tackling this as well. Here's some other folded pieces that I have. If this wasn't so, I should probably try to make envelopes out of those too, because they're kind of slippery. I don't know if that's going to work. Oh yeah, there's two more. These can be filed. Again, you can see that the shape is somewhat not the same. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I know what I'm doing for another several days, but I do feel a bit better, and I will have the ones that I've committed to do something with in a basket on the cart, kind of, you know, ready to go. I might have to, well, it should be obvious what's what here. Anyway, she said, hopefully, with fingers crossed. Oh, see, and I have this. This is from a baby quilt. Kim gave this to me many moons ago. This, oh, you know what? This could be the start of a snippet roll. That's a bright idea, Hazel. Thanks for telling us that. Anyway, I better let you go. Oh, I will say, I do have these. These were sleeves, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I could do all my videos wearing these. Okay, if you tune in, whoops, let's get this on right. Okay, if you see these kind of arms on a video, you know it's me. If I haven't done anything, I haven't opened up the seam, if anyone knows what to do with something like this, I thought that it could be, you know what, I should put this with my wrap things. This could be stretched around a journal of a certain size. Oh ho ho, just came up with another idea. Oh, and I bought these from, oh, Not So Fast Joni. I don't remember what she said they were, but aren't they cute? I picked two in colors that I liked. So I think I fancied them as some sort of a closure too. So let's put this with the closures. Anyway, okay, now I'm really leaving. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and we shall see you in the next one. And if you don't hear from me for a couple of weeks, you'll know that I'm still sorting fabric and have refused to give up. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.